Hi guys, and welcome back to another in our 1/10 series. We're not talking big scale, we're talking 1/10. This size car. Now, any of you that's followed our journey on the 1/10, we used to race Associated last year, and for quite a while we've raced Associated, but we made the decision to change to X-Ray. We've got the XB2 26 model there. We changed over from Associated. Quite an upheaval, big cost to change brands. And a few days ago, as most of you would have seen, or a lot of you would have seen, Associated brought out a new version of the B7. So did we jump ship too soon? We would have liked to stay with Associated. We had oodles and oodles of Associated gear. Change to X-Ray has been a big upheaval, as I say. But have we jumped ship too soon? Should we have hung on for that B7.1? So in this video, we are going to talk about the B7.1. We obviously haven't got one here. They haven't actually been released yet. We haven't got one here, but we can talk about it. We'll be really clever and leave some pictures and screenshots of the new car, but we will talk about it and what we think has happened with that B7.1. We're doing this video because I've had loads of conversations online with people I don't even know, via the channels, via the social medias, people that I race with, all talking about the new Associated, not the X-Ray, the Associated car, and whether Associated have really nailed it with the 7.1 or whether it's just a meaningless upgrade. We'll discuss it in this video, so watch on. So then guys, I am going to use my trusty XB2 as a talk around for this video because they are very, very similar, aren't they guys? We are not talking huge differences, but enough to make a difference. So with the original Associated B7, there were two problems with it. Quite fundamental problems really. One was strength. People bent the chassis round about here. And also, they had no rear brace in it, which meant there was quite a bit of flex on the rear. The C-block was a problem. The pins were the wrong length. And also, the gearbox, the 5-gear gearbox, which was good, just wasn't reliable. So, the reliability was an issue on the B7. They sort of improved it with some subtle upgrades that they put proper parts on. But they never really got their head around it. And of course, the other thing was the narrow setup window, the very narrow setup window that we found on the B7. So has the B7.1 fixed that? Well, what have they done? They have gone back to the B6.4 front to a degree, haven't they? They have got now, can we see, they've now got the chassis brace, or the wishbone brace, which goes between the front arms, aka B6 and aka XB2. So, does that solve this problem with bending the chassis here? Well, they've also beefed up this part. I don't know. I think this bit of part across here is so narrow that I don't know if it will have solved it. And I know people will say, well, don't crash. Yes, that's fine if you're a top line A finalist driver, but even then we do crash. The biggest market for these cars is not the team drivers. They don't make money out of them. It's all the club racers. So it's little Johnny and his dad who are getting a car. They want, what are they going to go with? They want something that he can have some crashes with. He's not going to bend all these bits. It gets expensive having to replace these chassis. You know, they're nearly, what, $100 a pop, I think. I think Associated have completely missed the mark there. I think people will still bend the chassis here. It's quite thin, it's narrow. It ain't gonna make that much difference, I don't think. It's a good move. Don't know why they didn't carry on. They done it on the B6. Why, Associated, did you take off this brace? Who knows? And while we've got the car here, the B7 had this KPI, kingpin inclination, active caster, whatever you want to call it. So what have they done with the new one? Took it off. KPI 0, same as this, same as the 6.4. So, is the B7.1 a B6.4 with a little bit of B7 in it? We did that with the 6.4, we just used to machine off this by 2mm. Could have done that, not really a big thing, is it? And we're going to talk about the rear end now. So, we have a 5-gear X-Ray gearbox in here. Now, I know it's not kit, it's an upgrade. We won't cover that, that's a whole different story. But the Associated B7 came out with a 5-gear gearbox. pioneered by effectively the British manufacturer Willspeed. They had some lovely upgrades to make 5-gear gearboxes for all the 1/10 cars, and they're a real good thing. Associated thought, let's do that, but we won't do it properly. We'll put rubbish gears in here, so people strip gears. So they strip gears. Again, reliability. Little Johnny, when he buys one of these cars with his hard-earned Christmas money, he don't want to be stripping the gears. You shouldn't have to go and put upgraded gears in here. They should be good from the get-go. They've gone to 3-gear gearbox because there's less rotating mass. It retains that motor position. Is it a cop-out? I don't know. I think it's a bit of a cop-out, to be fair. It's not really an upgrade. They're just planting on these 3-gear gearbox. It's got a huge... The motor stays in that same position because it's got a huge centre gear. If you want a 5-gear gearbox, make it properly. They say it's better for stock racers. Well, perhaps it is. We don't race stock, so I can't comment on that. Leave a comment down below, guys, if you've found a 3-gear gearbox better in stock. What was also a big problem on the B7 was these pins. Someone couldn't measure. Someone in their production department couldn't work out what length pin was going to be there. We sold the correct length pins, and I will tell you, we sold hundreds of pairs of those. So, you know, Associated, get the right measurements in. Hopefully that's now been resolved. But again, you don't have a waterfall. So I think the whole rear end on a B7 is very, very flexible. Again, it's narrower than the XB2. And the XB2's got this lovely underneath brace. So this is like an upside down waterfall brace. Really nice. So you don't bother with that. They've just still got a 3-gear gearbox motor in the same place. So again, you could buy it. Is there anything really that new on a B7.1? No, they've just put a load of new parts that you can buy anyway. They've also got these droppers, and on the carpet car they've inverted the shocks. Again, these are not really new. Hall Brothers have done these for ages. Inverted the shocks, they've started that a long time ago. Bit of a fad, really. I mean, you can invert the shocks on any car. Bit of a fad. What Associated did seem to do, though, with each version of the when they came to the B7, I should say, the dirt version, the carpet version wasn't a lot different. You had roll bars, different diff, gear diff versus ball diff. There wasn't a huge amount of difference between the two. But now, have they cottoned on a little bit? Is this a marketing and sales ploy? Now they have different length rear arms and different length axles to adjust the width of the car. Is that a marketing ploy? Does that mean you've got to buy more bits? Possibly, possibly not. I don't like the idea of having to change drive shaft lengths when you go between arms and things. I like the adjustable width on the axle, which you can get on the X-Ray. That's a much better design. But they've also come in with a C-block and D-block combination on the carpet and dirt cars, which are different. It gives you a different amount of toe as standard, which again, I don't think that's not a bad idea. It's just a little bit of a difference between the two cars. So guys, there are the changes they've made on the B7.1. It's more like a B6.4 really now, isn't it? But how's that going to make it stronger? It's going to make it a bit stronger, but is it going to be strong enough for little Johnny and his dad when they're racing? Still don't think so. Still think there's going to be people bending chassis. But the big thing, I think the biggest thing about the B7.1 is what they haven't done. They have stuck with the design philosophy around about this area, and the same at the front. Imagine this is a B7.1, not an X-Ray. They have stuck with narrow pivot, wide arms. Doesn't work for me. And a lot, and I mean a lot of other people don't get on with this. Smooth tracks carpet, okay. If you're a top line, and I mean top line national A driver, you can probably hold on to it. But for your good club races and everything, it's a challenge. It really is a challenge. This wide arm design and narrow pivot, which is the opposite almost to what X-Ray have got, just makes the car really difficult to set up. Very inconsistent. We find it quite inconsistent, particularly on bumpy tracks. Smooth tracks, indoors, on carpet, it's okay. You can get around it. It masks the floors, or perhaps it really works. But we find outdoors it doesn't work. And we know there's some lots of supported drivers that want to go back to a wider pivot and a narrower arm. But because they are supported, they have to use standard. Even have a look at some of the world's pictures, what some people may have been running. We'll say no more. We'll say no more. And also, a trade-off for this is because these bits here and there are so narrow, it makes the car weaker. So your whole design philosophy makes the car weak. I think it makes the car weak. But of course, it's going to be a brave person brave person in Associated that's going to finally realise that perhaps we need to reevaluate this. You know, what is it going to be? Do we need to go to a B7.2 whatever with those pivots? There are companies that are making narrower pivots, sorry, wider pivots for the B7, so that you can put on B6 arms. Do that with all the mods that they've done for the B7.1. Well, it's a B6.4, isn't it? So I really do think that the B7.1 is, I can't think of the word, being polite, it's going to win. They've got the most drivers. Associated's got the most drivers. It's going to win. It's going to win in the UK. It's going to win all over the world. But I'm glad we went down the X-ray route. Really glad that we've gone down. I'm glad we didn't hang about and wait till now to the B7.1 and have to clamber to go to X-ray. Really glad we went down the X-ray route. I think the B7.1 is nothing more than a band-aid. It will make it a little bit more reliable. Not a lot more reliable. People are still going to break and bend things, I think. Setup-wise, again, carpet, smooth surfaces, clay and things like that, I think it'll be fine. And the B7 was okay, but we don't race that in the UK. I don't race that. I've got to look at what I race. For what I race, B7, we stuck with it for far too long anyway. We should have gone over to the X-ray, I think, earlier, or a different brand earlier. But guys, leave a comment down below. We always like to read these comments. We do read. I know we don't always reply to everyone, but we do read every comment. And I will try to reply to as many as possible. But leave a comment down below what you think. There'll be people out there think, he has got it wrong. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Perhaps I have. I don't think so. From my point of view, that is what I think. And there will be a lot of people, I think, agree with me. So, leave those comments. Click on that subscribe button if you haven't already. We do have sort of two sides to this channel. We have the off-road, big scale stuff. We also have the 1/10 off-road, which we do competitive racing in. Thanks for watching. Back with more videos soon.